check in with Paul right now. We'll look at the forecast. So beautiful camping weather right now, kind of mild, not too hot. Well, I guess it depends where you are.
Right. Sorry, didn't mean to make the box pop up behind you.
That's okay. You can pop. We're just hanging in the matrix.
Yeah. The weather's looking just kind of normal for early July for most of the week ahead. The coolest day, of course, is going to be Independence Day. So we'll get into the details of how that's going to evolve. Let's start off with what you need to know as we head through the upcoming week and look at the weather headlines. At the live look outside from the Mark Hopkins Hotel, the fog is already starting to spread out, or at least it's trying. And this is part of the normal July pattern as well. No sky July back in effect, morning fog, even some patchy drizzle, and then a mix of clouds and sunshine in the afternoon. I think a little more cloud cover than what we saw today, mainly high clouds way up in the atmosphere streaming through the skies, even over inland parts of the Bay Area. Temperatures are going to be pretty close to normal from tomorrow and Thursday, skipping Friday with a cool 4th of July, but then back to near normal by Saturday and Sunday. So one cooler day just happens to be on the holiday. Right now, the view from Sail's First Tower is no view at all. There's the fog just kind of swallowing up the Bay Bridge, or really just swallowing up the camera on top of Sail's First Tower. Temperature in San Francisco is only 60 degrees. It's 5 degrees warmer across the Bay. Only low 70s in Santa Rosa. You're cooling off after a warmer afternoon, with temperatures elsewhere running in the 80s, 80 degrees exactly in San Jose, and still low 90s in Concord and Livermore. The 90s will be more sparse over the next couple of days. The weight of the atmosphere on top of us is going to decrease just a little bit, and we are going to see the fog making more of a push as we head through the rest of tonight. Futurecast indicates it making a little inroad into the inland valleys of the Bay Area by early on Wednesday morning. Not going to last very long in those inland valleys. Should retreat to around the Bay by mid-morning, retreating to the coast by about lunchtime, but I don't think it's going to pull away from the coast to any great extent as we head through the day tomorrow, and that will have an impact on our temperatures, of course, starting off mostly in the 50s, and then our mix of 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, but the 90s are largely going to stay a little bit farther off to the east. Let's take a look at our forecast highs for tomorrow, add some numbers to the colors in the background here, and we're only talking about 70s in San Jose, but into the mid-80s in Los Gatos and Morgan Hill. At 79 degrees in San Jose is just a couple degrees below average. Temperatures east of the Oakland Hills mostly staying in the 80s. Couple 90-degree readings around Antioch and Brentwood, but again, you have to go that far inland to find the hotter temperatures. Mostly 70s around the Bay, mid-60s in San Francisco, with near 60-degree high temperatures along the coast. And the North Bay, you go from the 70s in Napa and San Rafael to the 80s in Petaluma and Santa Rosa to the low 90s. 92 degrees likely to be the hot spot across the entire Bay Area in Healdsburg by tomorrow afternoon. The winds, not too much of a factor just yet, but one of the reasons why our temperatures are going to cool down on Friday is that Thursday's winds are going to be stronger, pushing that marine air farther and farther inland. A few gusts over 30 miles an hour, not strong enough to significantly exacerbate the fire threat, but something that we'll have to monitor as we get closer and closer to the 4th of July. Here's the temperature trend over the next 7 days, and we'll use San Jose as an example. Average high temperature is just above 80 degrees. Close to that tomorrow, little step back on Thursday, the coolest day on Friday, and then back to within a few degrees of normal over the rest of the weekend and into early next week with a little more of a warm up just beyond the scope of the 7-day forecast. And a lot of the long range data is indicating something similar, where we are going to see some warmer temperatures taking shape by the time we get to the latter half of next week. Here's the 7-day forecast, and we'll start inland where temperatures are going to reach up into the 80s for the next couple of days. Right around 80 degrees on Friday, but that means it's an average temperature, a mix of upper 70s and low 80s for the 4th, which is a pretty good departure from what's typical for Independence Day. Temperatures Bayside, some ups and downs, but the downs aren't quite as sharp as they are going to be farther inland. Coolest day on Friday brings high temperatures only into the mid-60s Bayside. Coastal temperatures don't change much at all, hovering right around 60 degrees. A lot of cloud cover and fog tomorrow, and then I think just more clouds than anything else. Thursday and Friday and over the weekend. A little too soon at this point to get into the hour-by-hour details of the fog for Friday evening. That's something that's going to be in focus already by this time tomorrow, so we can look ahead to fireworks time, right?
All right, thanks, Paul.